Ma'am, I remember you saying about the spinal cord operation when you were telling. Tell us more about that. What was it about?
Actually, I told you when he was 6 years, we moved to Delhi. And then we heard, I read in Reader's Digest. I was reading and then I found that there's a doctor called Peacock in America who has done some surgery and that has given results. So I had sent that article to my brother-in-law who stays there. I said, why don't you find this doctor? Say, you have already told that I'm covering every person, whoever is in medical field. So I sent in and asked him, can he help us so that we can bring Ashwin there? And then the reply was that the same thing, physiotherapy, and we kept quiet. But my brother-in-law gave us a news that Dr. Peacock is coming to India and he is visiting Hyderabad. And if you people can make it, take his appointment. He had sent me a message. And that time we were in Delhi. So I contacted the Hyderabad person. And then he said, yes, they are coming to this hospital, but all the appointments are filled. And I started praying God, sitting in front of God and doing japa and all those things, just praying him to make an appointment with the doctor, but it was not possible at all. And I heard that we are very sorry. That was the answer. Then I asked my husband to call him again and ask, how is he going back to? How is he flying back? Is it through Bombay or through Delhi? Then I got a news that he's flying back through Delhi. That was an amazing thing. I got that point. And I'm very sharp and I started pestering my husband, find out which hotel. I said, Prabha, how can we find out which hotel? I said, he's a big shot. In which hotel he'll survive? He'll be in some of the star hotels. So you contact all these star hotels and find out whether this doctor is there. Then
You really did a detective job.
Detective job only it was, And my husband was in a very good post, chief manager means many of the bank accounts and many hospital accounts and hotels accounts were with him. He started checking, and then in one hotel, they said, yes, he is there. Then my husband said, see, this is a lucky point that he is there. Then we contacted and we asked him, see, can you fix us an appointment? Sir, doctor is not available. Tomorrow morning he is leaving to States. And then, but you just give him this thing that we leave the number that these people had contacted you. If we can ask him to call back, or you tell us, we'll come at that time to the hotel. We just made because he knew Nagraj, he said okay, and he passed this message. But doctor was very kind enough. He called me back. He said the hotel people gave me this number and I was alone at home. And he said, gave me this number, what can I do? What is the message you wanted to give? Then I told him, see, my son is 6 years old, he's into cerebral palsy. And I heard that you had come to Bangalore to teach some doctors operation. He came to teach the doctors in Hyderabad. So then I spoke to him and then he said, ma'am, so sorry, I'm already leaving. But I started crying only. And was because this year you are my last hope, I want to meet you. Then he told, okay, 15 minutes time I can give you. Before leaving, I'll call you. If you are there, I can speak to you. Immediately he said, any time, sir, you please give us the time. Then before his, going out of the, logging out of the hotel, he gave me the time. And immediately I told my husband, tomorrow he has given us the time, and it was really lucky we were, and we got that time and we went. And then after seeing Ashwin was so good looking, he couldn't stop. And then he checked him and I showed him what are the exercises I'm doing, he said, you're amazing mother, you're doing everything. And now he is very young for that operation also. But I'll give you one doctor's number. You contact him. I've taught him this operation. I think he'll be handling.
Wow.
And then I contacted Dr. Purohit in Nizam's Institute of Research and this thing in Hyderabad. And that doctor was also very kind enough. He gave me an appointment and he said, but already I've got so many operations, ma'am. Then I asked him, please accommodate anywhere where there is a gap. He said, promise I'll accommodate you. And I think my way of talking, Nagara's way of smiling, he had us in the good books. I'd brought him sweets, something he was happy with us. Once he reached Hyderabad, he was doing the operations according to the appointments. That time some political disturbance, this Mangal Commission or something happened at that time. And immediately he said all the appointments are cancelled because all the trains and flights were cancelled.
Wow.
If you can make it, I'll do it. It was a big task for us.
Because there's no transport.
No transportation at all, no trains, no this thing at all. But we made it.
How?
I just left my son with my friends first. Because Delhi, we don't have any relatives. One of the bank employees was a close friend. We said, now you take care of Naveen. We will go for the operation. Everywhere is so kind. And all his customers started arranging. We'll send you the car up to there, up to there, up to there. However you want to travel, we are going to see that you are in Hyderabad, get operated. So breaks travel, we got trains, flight and all that, bus, everything from Delhi to Hyderabad we travelled and we got his operation.
Wow.
When the operation was scheduled, all the preliminary tests were done and they said, he said, anything can happen because this is a new operation I'm trying. Anything happen, what will you do? I said, doctor, whatever happens, I have to face. I'm ready for it. And we stayed 1 month in that hospital, got Ashwin operated, and doctor said he couldn't get the conscious at all. It was 8 hours operation, 8 to 9 hours. And we were really dead, outside sitting, crying. And they said, see how it works. And I said, he did not get conscious. One of the doctors said, as long as he's breathing, he is alive. I was so scared, always touching his nose. And then he woke up and he said, I want to go to restroom. Oh God, his excretory system is working. And he spoke little. Then we started finding out, but he got good results. His stiffness decreased there a little. At least 10% it decreased. So small benefit, puts smile on my face.
This whole episode sounded like universe has planned every step of it to give a little bit relief.
But that is all I feel. Only when we are doing our work, honestly, putting all our efforts, definitely we will be rewarded. Without any work, you can't expect anything, as Krishna says.
Yes.
Do your kartavya, I'll take care of everything. I've done that. Only that.
Yeah.
I'm doing my efforts. He's there to take care of.
Amazing.
Just did. And Ashwin, we are carrying him better here. Again there. But of course, he was in 7th standard, coming to 6th standard, we used to carry him only. We used to always lift him up. I didn't use any wheelchair or anything because I didn't want my son to sit on the wheelchair. That is, I've got something. And slowly when I put him to normal school, totally special school was cut off.
Okay.
So we didn't take him back to that school because he was doing here, and the integration in the normal school was working, and children started accepting him. So I was very happy that way. They used to wait for him until I finished my work, and somehow we could adjust. Teachers were good and all. Once I came to Bangalore, it was a real puzzle putting him to a school where they accept him. I took him to many schools, but the schools were on the floor, first floor, second floor. Carrying him was difficult. Then I found a small school again, just started up branch, Vani school in Basveshwar Nagar. I approached them. They said, yes, but he doesn't know Kannada, but Kannada is compulsory. I said, ma'am, give him 3 months time. You see him, I will teach him. Because our mother tongue is Kannada, we can do it easily. And that school, didn't allow me to sit inside the premises also.
So till then you sat with him in the school every day?
Every day. If the car was free, I used to go and sit in the car because I started driving also. Because for Ashwin, I started driving because my brother started forcing me. Unless you learn driving, nothing can happen. Start learning driving, he said. So I started driving also. Suppose the car was free, I used to sit in the car. If my husband has taken the car, I again sit in the this thing outside only on the footpath where there's a small bench. Take some book and sit reading. And Ashwin there, whenever he wanted to go to restroom, I used to take him, and I used to bring all his notes in the evening, and I used to start writing. But children are very kind. Once they get this integration, they learn to help.
Okay.
That is what I have seen.
Okay.
Unless you make them learn to help, they will not be helpful to others.
Okay.
But one girl, Soumya, I still remember, she's such a sweet soul. She said, Auntie, why you take so much of risk? You give both the books. I'll write my book also and I'll write his book also. She started writing notes for him. Children have helped me a lot. That is how God sends help. I believe in it. And then they started putting carbon and started writing. And somehow it also passed away. And after 2 years of journey there, my first son completed his PU.
Okay.
And he got engineering seat in Chikmagalur. So again we got transferred, and Nagaraj also asked, we'll go to Chikmagalur. And that is the time when he asked help to the seniors. They said, why don't you give me a post in Chikmagalur? I said, why Nagaraj? Why don't you go to Lucknow? Then he expressed himself, I've got a son like this. Everybody was stunned to know with all these problems, how are you managing?
So nobody knew till then?
We used to never go and tell our problems. It is our problem, let us face it. And my mom and all, they used to take care of me so much, but no problems were given from our side after that.
So it's you, your husband, your elder child, and Ashwin.
We used to handle ourselves, and then we were transferred to Chikmagalur, and we went to Chikmagalur. After coming to Chikmagalur, again a new turn, new place, all this adjusting life, every day is an exam for us. Every day is something, we have to face a new thing. And that time, the school was very far. And taking him to school, putting him there and coming back, and he had grown up also. And all these weathers were very warm. So his going to restroom was limited. But Chikmagalur, when we went, it was very cold. Even if I used to never give him water. But once he is because of the weather, he started urinating more. Okay. And to control his urination, he used to tighten his urinary bladder, and he used to get stomach pain. He used to control, and had a fall also in the classes. And immediately they used to call us. Going and bring him back was such a difficult. That time my husband, he felt it is done. I think we cannot manage him anymore, because every time we have to run to the school means, what about my job? And I cannot, because it is not a very big place where I can get all the facilities like autos and all so easily. We started feeling the pain. Two-wheeler I couldn't ride. Okay. That was the main drawback in me. Then we started feeling, my husband said, it's enough. Let's stop. We'll educate him at home. But I said no. And then myself and my eldest son, he had grown up by that time. He was 16 years, 15 and a half, 16 years. We both sat, what we can do. You believe it or not, I started taking plastic sheets, cutting underwears in that. I started stitching. Just like underwears, so that where he can, even if he pass once urine, it can hold.
Oh, you made a makeshift.
Yeah. This is how we started, because we didn't get diapers at that time. Elder diapers were not there. So in the baby diapers, I used to keep like that plastic underwears to get in olden days. So that same way I started making. That worked. So it is really, I don't know what I am. I really still don't know what I am. I put a question mark. What can I say? Can I call myself a teacher? Or what can I call myself, a nurse? Can I call myself a physiotherapist, because I'm a trained physiotherapist also? What I call myself?
I think all that.
it's all because of Ashwin again. And then he started his journey, and there also he used to stand first. His intelligence, again that principal, she knew my husband also. She was very fond because all their accounts were taken care by my husband. Then she said, why don't you join us? Again, my teacher journey started back in Chikmagalur. And Chikmagalur journey was the turning point in our life. And Naveen was doing his engineering. My father brought in visiting card and said, you take him to Kumbhakona in Madras. Many children have started walking. Why don't you show your child? By the time we had done all doctors, all gods, I remember if somebody gives me a stone and said, keep it on his head and give him a bath at 5 o'clock, I've done it. We have gone to Ankola, got oil, done massage, we have done it. Anybody says, you say something, that is done next day. We were like that. But after going to Chikmagalur, I don't know, my father brought me a card and said, why don't you visit? Then I forced my husband, it was like that. So we went to Kumbhakonam. We saw children moving. It's basically Unani and Siddha medicine. Because we had tried everything, we thought let's do it. Because myself and my husband had only one intention. We should not later regret. We have not done this for Ashwin. We wanted to feel that completely whatever we can do it, and if he still stays like this, it is our bad luck. So we never wanted to miss anything on his part. So we went there, and once I saw there, I thought that my son also will improve. I said, give me the medicine and we want to continue the treatment. And that person told me only one sentence, we don't give medicine outside. If you want, you come and stay here. Then only we can help you out. So when he said this sentence, it was really very sad because it was so far away, 800 kilometers from Chikmagalur. My son is studying everything, and then said, okay, we'll come back, visit, and we came back. After coming from Kumbhakonam to Chikmagalur, I was lost. I said every day I started the same thing, writing in a big paper, advantages, disadvantages. What is the advantages if I go there? What is the disadvantages? I used to always make that, if Ashwin is good, everything will get good. Why don't we try? You and Naveen manage here, you manage Naveen, and I'll take Ashwin. My husband was very particular. You cannot manage him because I was very timid, totally dependent housewife on Nagraj. I have never even gone to get my things outside. Not my lipstick, not my bangles, or what even my innerwears, he used to get it. Totally dependent on my husband. He said, how will you handle him? I said, you come and travel 15 days once you come, I can stay. I was only blindly, I was arguing with him. Then he said, okay, chalo. Then we went, and then one of our friends gave us the address. And then we said, very far houses, he did not agree. We requested them, and they had a room, I think a very small room. He said, why don't you give this room for 3 months so that my wife will stay, she'll be secured here, she'll take care of the treatment for 3 months and I'll take her back. Okay. And then it was no bathrooms there. We had to adjust with the adjacent people. But I was okay with everything. I wanted to take everything only. My main view is Ashwin should become fine. And yes, we got that room. And my husband brought him a small TV because he was very fond of match, especially Tendulkar. He is very fond of Tendulkar from that age. So he wanted to keep his son smiling. He arranged this. I put a small box. I put my stove on it. I said, we are going to cook here. That's it. We started, myself and my son started our life there. It was very painful treatment. You know, my son's leg, his knee was bent in 60 degrees angle. That is how he couldn't stand. I was always waiting as to do the therapy, pressing his knee. If this knee becomes all right, he will walk. That was my, because the knee has to bear weight, right? So there, what they did is, they placed a cane in behind his leg, and literally 5 to 6 men used to press his leg.
My goodness.
They used to bring the knee down, very painful, and my son used to shout. I used to sit and stand and cry. My husband used to never enter into the room. He said, I can't see this. We are troubling our child. And they used to put 20 bandages over it. And that muscle has to stretch, forcibly. That muscle has to expand. And after 2 days, this stick should be there. And it continues. And it's like this always. And I have to handle him. If I have to take him to bathroom also, I have to take his legs like this and go. Put him in the bathroom. Give him, whatever I do, it is like that. The position doesn't change. So that was his position. Then we brought him like this. And putting him in the cycle rickshaw like this, putting his legs straight. The driver used to help me. So this was the thing. And it was hell of treatment. And after 2 days, we have to remove all the bandages. And by the time his leg becomes very sensitive, his leg cannot even bend a little, he used to cry. So after that, again 2 days, we have to take him. And because of that cane, all his legs started getting hurt. Wound became weak. My husband used to cry, I used to cry, he used to cry. And that was the utter shock. My husband couldn't take it. And then it becomes 3 months treatment, continued for 6 months. 6 months to 9 months. He said, and I was feeling that he's improving little. His legs are becoming straight. Why don't we complete it? Why don't we complete it? So it became already 7 to 8 months. I think January 1998. My husband said, okay. I said, I want to take a break. I'm fed up. He said, okay, I'll take care of me. You will go. And continuously, it was me and my son seeing each other always. What I used to cook, I don't know. Nothing. But one day, I got and with no phones. Imagine a condition, no telephones. If my husband had to call, he had to call the opposite person. I had to run, leaving my son. And all the people around me became very nice. They started getting me vegetables. They started I got used to everything. My nature is that I started mingling with everybody. And when the phone comes, I have to run and take. One day afternoon, I received a phone. You start immediately. The Akraj is not well. My brother called and said, he's gone an attack. Start immediately. I said, how do I start? I said, why you people are bringing him to Bangalore? Why don't you go to Chikmagalur? He said, no, we are bringing him for the treatment. You start with your son. And Canara Bank people from Chikmagalur had contacted Kumbakonam Canara Bank people. They said, please bring madam back. I lost my husband at that time. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಂಗೆ ಆ ಫೋನ್ ಬಂದಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹುಷಾರು ತಪ್ಪಿತು. ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹೇಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ತಿ. ನಾನಾದರೂ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ಸು ಅದು ಇದು ತೊಗೋತಿದ್ದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅಂಥ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋದರು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅವಾಗ ನಮಗಿನ್ನೂ ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಅಂತ ತುಂಬ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ನಮಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಕೌಂಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಟೀ ಕುಡಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಳ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ಕಾರ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಬರೋ ತನಕ ಏನು ಆಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಮನೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಂತಿರೋದು ನೋಡಿ ಭಯ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಏನಾಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೋದ್ರೆ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಮೋರ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ಐ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈ ಟೆಂಪರ್ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಬ್ರದರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಬೈದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನವೀನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಜಗಳ ಆಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಹೆಂಗೋ ಕಳಿಸ್ದೇನೇನು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯಿತು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಅಂಥ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕಳ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಲಿವ್ ಅಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅನ್ಗೋ. ನನಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಭಕೋಣಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಏನು ಹೋಗಿ ತಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನೇನು 15 ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ತರಕಾರಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅದಷ್ಟೊಳಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾರೋ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದವ್ರು ತಂದ್ಕೊಡೋರೆ ಹೊರತು ನಾನು ಅಶ್ವಿನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದೋಳೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಡೇ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಸ್. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಸುತ್ತಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ದೇವರು ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿಸಿದವ್ರ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಶ್ವಿನ್ ತೆಂಡೂಲ್ಕರ್ ಥರ ಇರಬೇಕು ನೀನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಎಂಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರನೇ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಮರ್ ಅಂತ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ನಾನು ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಮಲಗಿದ್ದು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂದು ಲೈಫು ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಏನಿದು, ವಾಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್? 2 ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಏನು ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಟೋಟಲಿ ಹೌಸ್ ವೈಫ್. ಒಂದು ಚೆಕ್ಗೆ ಸೈನ್ ಹಾಕೋದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೇಗೆ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಏನೇನೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸು. ಲೈಫ್ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಸಾಯಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಎಲ್ಲರ 3 ಜನ ಲೈಫ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡೋಣ, ಯಾವುದು ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುತ್ತ ಜನ ಜನ ಜನ. ಕೊನೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗೀತು. ಕೊನೆಗೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ದಿಸ್, ಐ ಕುಡಂಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂಗಾದಾಗ ನನಗೆ I really started feeling, what is life? How to take this to children? How to cross life? Is the end of this life? I felt I had fallen in a huge crevasse. ನಾನು 7th standard children, when I was teaching, I used to talk about the crevasse. But if I have fallen in that, what is my life? How to climb out of it? I had lot of questions. Who is going to save us? But my father was always saying only one thing: this is your life. You have to lead your life. This is what you have asked for. This is destiny. But I used to get very wild on my dad. Why is he saying so much? Because he's past all the things. He's happy. He's talking like this. I say, you think in my side and then you talk, I used to say. But if I deeply think even today what my dad said, he said it so perfectly. Then I decided, okay, I shift back to Bangalore. But after that also 3 months I didn't want to stay with my family. I said, I'm going for treatment back. I went to Kumbakonam, so I didn't want to stay with these people. Because everybody used to talk about the same thing. It was troubling me so much. Afterwards 3 months I went and pleaded the doctor, no, I cannot stay anymore. Now I have to think about my living. Next, what I have to bring, how to bring food for my family, I have to think. Then he gave me some medicines. I thought if he had given me these medicines long back, I really felt I would be with my husband at least at his end days at least. But this is destiny. We came back, and then decision was where I have to stay. But Naveen was studying in Chikmagalur. He had to continue there. We thought we'll shift Ashwin to Bangalore and I stay in Bangalore. Again the question is, which school, how to put him, who is going to take care of him? Because I am already, if I have to work somewhere, who will take care of him? All these questions started rising. And there also, God sent someone when we are in need, that is for sure. The principal of my Mountain View School, Chikmagalur, she came back. I was working there as a teacher. She came back. Prabha, don't lose heart. I am with you. Caste, creed doesn't come. She was a Muslim lady. She said, I'll help you. I'll give you a job in my school. Come back. Because you cannot be in the pity of the people. That sentences that helped me a lot to take decision. I said, let me see, ma'am, I don't know what I'll do. But she gave me a lot of hopes and she went back because I had not got my bank job. One of my Nagraj's friend came and said, you apply for the job. He made me apply for the job also. But I was an executive wife. Canara Bank is to never offer compassionate grounds job for executive wife. So I was not eligible. Luckily, he had not opted for pension. Okay. There was a thing to consider as a special case. So that was a huge story. Again, we fought for the job. I took Ashwin to General Manager, showed him. I don't have any other thing to continue. I was given a job in Canara Bank again. And by the time, but the job I got was 4 or 5 months later. But decision there, where I have to stay was still there. I said, okay, Bangalore, I'll stay back. I'll stay back in one of my father said, you come to my house. My brother and my mother-in-law said, you stay. I was totally shaken where to stay. But I didn't want to stay in anybody's mercy, because that is not the life Prabha has to give to her children. Prabha has got some other idea, independent life. Give her children what she wants. And having Ashwin at this condition, small children in the house, how they will see Ashwin was the big question. I slept at night. Morning my decision changed. I said, no, I'm not staying anywhere. I'm going back to Chikmagalur. Everybody started asking me, how will you go and stay alone? I said, I'm going to stay with my children. I can't leave away my first son and stay. I was worried how he will progress, because that was the sensitive thing happened to the family. I didn't want my child to lose his track. I said, I'm going back.